This is Colonel Falcon from the Falcon Vaults, and you're watching Sin Spacies.
Since Spacies.
G'day Invaders, welcome to Spacies, and this is the pickups video for the month of July. I would have done a June video, except I was kind of busy. I was out at Japan and China for 2 weeks and just couldn't get enough time to squeeze in a pickups video for them. But looking down here at the massive stuff I've got to get through, I think you guys will find that it was worth the wait. And I'm going to get stuck straight in with this first one that came in. I've been waiting a few months for this to arrive. This is the Hatsune Miku Tato Space Invader special statue figurine, and it is awesome. The amount of detail that's on this. I mean, she's even got little Space Invader icons on her leggings there. It is such a cool statue, and I just love showing this one off. It is such a cool thing. It's basically, she's an attendant in one of the Tato game stores. So, and you can see she's got a little backpack there with her mic. I don't know, just really cool figurine. The amount of detail that's in on this. You can see even the detail on her denim skirt. Really cool figurine, and I was so glad to pick that up. Shame I never won one of those stupid plush Space Invaders. Still trying to get one of them. Anyway, so yeah, Hatsune Miku Tato figurine. Also, one of the really cool pickups from this month, I got it, I think this came in about 4 weeks ago, but the detail on this, I probably will do a video on this later, but this is the Sega Master System Visual Compendium. It was a Kickstarter. My name is actually in this as a backer, so that was a really cool thing. And as you can see, the front of it actually animates with little different details there. That's a hardcover that comes with it. Ah, look, it's got my friends there from Games You Loved on the back. That's pretty neat. So it's how many pages is this thing? 400 odd, I think. 432. So 432 pages. The quality in this, I really don't even want to touch it. It's just so immaculate. The detail, it's hard to show this off, but every page has color details. I really don't want to show this to the camera too much because I don't want to bend or wreck it because it is so immaculate. But if you haven't already done so, have a look at picking up one of these. The amount of work that has gone into this booklet is hardcover booklet. You can get softcover ones, but I went for the hardcover because the quality in this is just immaculate. It even goes into the box arts, and it's just such a cool read. And I one day will go through this from front to cover. I do especially appreciate the Alex Kidd artwork. And it comes with 3D glasses. So there's a couple of pages in there that you do need to wear the 3D glasses to appreciate. And it even comes with a Sega Master System bookmark, which is pretty cool. So yeah, definitely worth checking out from Bitmap Books. These guys, this is the first time I've bought one of their products and they've sold me. I'm going to be, I don't know if there's a Mega Drive one of these, but if there is, I'm definitely going to be tracking that down. I know there's a Super Nintendo one that was released, but get on that, guys, and check it out. But that came in the mail recently. Okay, so one of the other things that I picked up, one of the things that you see in Japan a lot now is magazines giving away items as gifts to encourage you to buy the magazine. And one of the magazines I saw there was I guess you could say a teenage males magazine. Not really my cup of tea, but I saw this travel bag on it, which is a Space Invaders travel bag. Plus, it even came with a coin bag for Space Invaders, and it's got one of the little invaders on the bottom corner. So this, plus this, and a magazine, it was 1,000 yen. That's really not that expensive at all. I bought it for this and pretty much threw the magazine out. I don't know what happened to that magazine actually, but yeah, that was an awesome pickup. I posted this up on Twitter, and actually someone else who had been to Japan knew that I would be onto that. So yeah, I am kind of predictable that way. But yeah, that was another thing that I picked up. So this next one is from Cameron Hons. I was over visiting him the other day and he gave me this. You've probably seen it in the background on a couple of videos. But yeah, this was hanging up on the wall before, but he's kind of fallen down. So I'm still trying to work out a home for him. But Shadow, it's pretty huge too. It's the biggest Sonic related item I've got now. And he's a little on the old side now, unfortunately. Still, it's from the Sonic X series. Pretty cool. So yeah, this was a pickup for the last couple of months. Pretty cool. For my next pickup, it's this, the Sonic Froggy hat. Yeah, it's from Team Sonic Racing, and 5 Star Gaming actually sent this out to me along with the review code. They also sent me the Froggy shirt that you see featured predominantly on the Team Sonic Racing cartoon. I would love to show you that, except they sent me a medium, so my wife scored that. So yeah, anyway, so that was the pickup from Team Sonic Racing. I will do a couple of streams of Team Sonic Racing as well. I've been having a bit of fun with it, but haven't had much time to get stuck into it as much as I'd like. So look forward to some Team Sonic Racing streams coming up on my Twitch stream, and you'll see the link down below. Follow me on Twitch. I do Tuesday and Thursday night streams. Also, I do the odd surprise stream every now and again. And this next pickup's a bit of an interesting random one. I went to a swap meet. This was for records and Star Wars memorabilia. I wasn't really interested. It was cool to look at, but it's not something that I buy myself. But I was walking past one of the stands and I spotted this. Now this is only $10, so you know, not that expensive, but for the condition this is in, it's almost immaculate, and it's dated back to 1982. So Space Invaders would have been 4 years old when this was released. It's just a booklet on the rise of video games. Let me try and see if I can do this properly. There we go. So you got all the cabinets there for Centipede lined up in a row. These are really well illustrated pages for the time. In fact, if this book was released now, I'd be really keen to pick this up. Even all the handhelds that were released back then were getting shown off. Really cool book actually. It's actually got an introduction by Steven Spielberg, who was a massive Space Invaders nut even back then. And I just can't get over how they refer to Space Invaders as old hat. There's a line in here somewhere that says that even though Space Invaders is old hats now, 4 years, like, I don't refer to a game 4 years old as old hats anymore. I still refer to them as being relatively current. So it's kind of interesting that they would look at a game that was released 4 years as being kind of retro. It's, yeah, an interesting thing that I picked up from that. But anyway, yeah, that was the Invasion of the Space Invaders book. So this next pickup was actually a donation, or a gift from my wife's sister, so my sister-in-law. And it was something that she's picked up from one of those UFO machines, you know, the claw machines. It was this guy, Kirby. Really soft and spongy. I think this one's a little bit on the old side, but my wife wanted this. This is not mine, this is my wife's. She doesn't even know who Kirby is. She just liked the design. So there's that. So when we were in Nagasaki, I actually stopped by the Sega arcades that were there, and I spent quite a bit on the UFO machine. So I was trying to win some stuff. One thing that I found, which was kind of disappointing, there is no Sega related IP that you could win in a Sega arcade. That's just plain dumb in my books. I was really disappointed with that. but you could win this. This is something that I won. I was about to give up. We were about to walk away and I said, no, one more try. I reckon I've got this. So I first go actually with this guy because he was round and I figured it would be easy for the claw to pick him up. That theory was not 100% correct though, because I tried to win a bigger one later and it just kept falling out. But because this one is light, it was easy to grab. So if you're in Japan and you see one of these guys, they're easy to win. So that was one of the pickups I got from Japan. Also, don't tell anyone, but while I was in there, I nicked a whole stack of these Sega tissues with really cool artwork actually for Sonic. I don't know. I just saw no one was watching and I grabbed a handful. Don't tell anyone. All right, so we're getting to the games now. So we're going to start with some Nintendo 64 stuff. We have finally got, wow, that's actually quite heavy. Mario Kart 64. Never owned it before, and I only played it for the first time against Cameron Holmes. So now I've got my own copy to play on my Nintendo 64 Pikachu edition. I will be doing a few streams with these games in the future, but yeah, that was one of the games I've picked up. Also got Pilot Wing 64. That's actually a lot lighter than Mario Kart. Just kind of curious to see what they did with the game. So that would be, look at the price, only $1, like 100 yen. It's such a throwaway. So yeah, there's that. These are all loosies, by the way. They don't have any covers. Mario Tennis, because I'm always interested in the Mario series sports games, so there's that as well. And F-Zero X. I was more hoping to see if I could pick up the GameCube version of F-Zero, but I'll be happy to pick this up instead. So we did get a couple of Mega Drive stuff, and Mega Drive games in Japan are a little bit more expensive than the Super Nintendo stuff. And I think it's because they kept their condition better over time than the Super Nintendo stuff because, well, Super Famicom, because Super Famicom had the cardboard crappy boxes that everyone hates universally. So I think they hiked the prices up a little bit more because of the condition of the Mega Drive stuff is a little better. But anyway, all that aside, we've got one loosey. Very rare that I will buy a loose Mega Drive title, but I couldn't resist this one. It's Puyo Puyo, which is basically Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Always fun to play that, super hard actually, but very fun and addictive to play. We also got a game that I had never heard of before, and the cover was just really plain and weird. It's this Pro Striker Real Sports Soccer game. Now, this was the first year I think that the J-League started in Japan. So it's got Sega tap. You can actually play 10 players with this. That's crazy. That is nuts. It shows you inside. It's actually got its... Hang on, let me get this open. So there's the box, sorry, the cartridge itself. Pretty ordinary, really. I do like, though, in the back of the brochure, it actually shows you all the teams and their mascots. Every team has got this cool mascot set aside for them. Really cool. I wish we kind of did that in the West a bit more. The NRL tried to do mascots, but I don't think they did it quite as good as they could have. Okay, I kind of got the players wrong. It was 4 players. So that's the guide that shows you that you could get 4 players playing at once. But this next game actually has more than 4 players, and it is a sequel to a Japanese game that I've got on the Mega CD. Back in the day, I loved baseball games, and this one was really cool because you could actually save your statistics throughout a season, and that was one of the first games that I played where you could do that. I was statistic mad. One other game that actually did that back in the time, which I was in love with, was Super League Basketball, which was Tecmo Basketball, I think. But yeah, I really loved that game, and this game did the same thing, but I didn't know there was a sequel to this. This is Super League CD, and it was a sequel to a game that I've already got. Hang on one minute. Okay, I had to dig around to find it then, but yeah, this was Super League CD, the one that I had. And then when I was in Japan, I spotted this. So the 2 covers are kind of different, and they are slightly different and it was just odd. I'd never noticed, I never knew that there was another sequel, so I picked that up and I gave it a bit of a play. Now, playing these games with Japanese menus is a little bit tricky, but yeah, there was that. And the last Mega Drive pickup that I got was Wrestle Ball. You can see it playing in the background there. To explain Wrestle Ball, just think Speedball 2, except with more anime style graphics, and I actually prefer this over Speedball. I love Speedball too. It's actually a brilliant game, but there's something about the charm of this game that beats it in my opinion. So it's also known as Powerball in the West. So and that's going to be on the Japanese Mega Drive Mini. So we won't get this in the West. I will be getting a Japanese Sega Mega Drive Mini as soon as I can. I've got it on pre-order, so I'll be able to review and see how it compares to the cartridge version. Now we're getting into GameCube for a change of speed. So the GameCube games I got, this was the, I don't know what you call it because it's not in English, but this is a Konami baseball series that's been going on for eons. And in fact, while I was there, they were pushing the Switch version of the most current version of this game, or update of this game. So this is from 2004, and in 2019 they're still going ahead with this system. Yeah, we all know what we think of Konami these days, but at least they're keeping this series going. It's bringing in some cash for them. So, you know, Konami are douchebags, but at least they've still got something to fall back on. Then there was this Gundam style game. I've got no idea about it, but it was like 100 yen. So I figured, what the heck, there's that. I'm not even sure if I've already got a copy of this or not, to be honest. It looks very similar to another game that I've got. So there's that. Then I've got Chibi Robo on the GameCube. I've always wanted to play this version. This is the one that really appeals to me. Basically, you're in a house and you're this little robot that's got to go around and do domestic duties to try and win points. And I don't know, it just looks charming. There's something about this game that looks really cool. They went ahead and, you know, they did this mess, which I think most people will agree is not really what the series is about. They turned him into a platform game. I only bought that one for the amiibo, but I wish they'd go back to this. The Switch needs this to do a return to this style of game for Chibi Robo. I think he's a underrated character that needs a little more love from Nintendo. Then we've got some sport games. Yes, Mario Golf. Really cool game actually, and I can't wait to get stuck into this. We'll probably be playing it against Cameron. I can see that's going to happen. And there's a game that I think will go down in history as the only time, and unless I might be wrong, tell me if I'm wrong, but this is the only time that EA and Nintendo joined up and teamed up. So this is Street Hoops, I think it was called. It doesn't have it in English at the front, but look at that dirty EA big logo on the bottom there on a Mario game. It's just odd, and you can see it's got, you know, screenshots there of Mario. Is that Peach about to? Yeah, Peach doing ready to do a dunk. Just an odd title, but that's why I picked it up. Then we got a magazine that I just picked up. It was like, what, 550 yen, which is a throwaway purchase. But they were doing an article about Space Invaders and also Mega CD. So as soon as I saw that, that's just like two of my loves in one little caption there. So I had to pick it up. And basically, it's it goes through each and every Mega Drive game that's going to be on the Mega Drive Mini. So that was fun to read. But hang on if I can get to it. So yeah, it goes through each of every game. Each game that is coming out on the Mega Drive Mini has got its own little page to explain what the game is about. Kind of wish we got something like this in the West. It's good to see printed media is still a thing in Japan. I really miss buying these kind of magazines. When I was working at Sega, I used to import this magazine, actually. I think it was this very one, because I recognize the mascot there. But yeah, it's really cool to pick up. You can't read it, but you go through and seeing how they're getting excited about gaming, retro gaming. It's really cool to see that retro gaming in Japan is still alive in 2019. Now I went to the Pokemon Center in Hiroshima, and I'm not a big Pokemon head. There's a couple of Pokemon stuff in this room, but I did manage to pick up, I don't know, what is this guy? Is it a Robo Pikachu? I don't know anything about the background story, but I just loved it, so I picked this up. I might have to do some research into what the story is about this character. Also, speaking of Pikachu, you guys probably won't guess what that is, but yep, there it is. You can see you plug him into the wall outlet, and he's got the sockets there. And you would think that you put the the USB charger in his date, but no, it's in the back there on his belly. But I just thought that would look really cool. I've actually got a Japanese wall outlet for my step-down converter that will be going in, so that's pretty funny. This next item I got also from the Pikachu Center, Pokemon Center, and this is the only place you can pick one of these up, and it is the Hiroshima Carp. It's a scarf that will go on the background here. It will feature in the background, and I'm getting into scarves now, gaming scarves. They're hard to find. I've got a Street Fighter 2 one here, and now I've got this. I'm starting to see if I can find some more to, just decorate the room with. But just check out the artwork on it. That is pretty cool, isn't it? This next one actually came in via Amazon, I think it was, and it's the Ocarina of Time, the ocarina itself, and it even comes with its own specific little display mount, but I'll take that away. And you don't blow on it, it's electronic. It actually takes AA batteries, I think it was. And I'm gonna try and see if I can do this. I can't remember if it's this one or not. Hang on. No, not that. All right, I think we'll get it this time around. Yeah, that's it. You get the gist. It's I think you got 6 little tunes that you got to try and track down on this. When I was going out to this swap meet here in Sydney, I gave this to a 7-year-old to play around with in the back, and he was obsessed. He found all 6 tunes, and throughout the car ride there and back, all he was doing was trying to unlock the tunes. So it is addictive if you're not familiar. He's never played Ocarina of Time, and he was still hooked on this. Also picked up a Kirby, we're on the theme of Kirby, a Kirby lamp, and it's actually kind of bright. And this was only about 1,000 yen, not even. 700 actually, 700 yen. We just can't get this stuff in the West, it's just insane. And in Japan, you just go into these random shops and find stuff like this all over the place. It really makes me angry that we don't get this stuff in the West. So just a few more games left, and then we'll get into the big stuff. We've got Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and this is the DLC, Torna, the Golden Country. Played it for the first time the other night. I'm trying to get into the new voice acting for this one. It's a little bit more difficult to get into. It's not quite as charming in my book. But I do like the fact that there's more Xenoblade Chronicles, so that's a good thing. So yeah, you can play this without having played the first Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So it's a standalone DLC, but it's a backstory. So it's a prequel set about 1,000 years before the events of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So it's worth checking out. It's a full price game though. That was the one thing that I was not happy about, that you're paying full price for a DLC, but it's a standalone game in itself. So, okay, I'll give it a pass. Another one is a game that I've been waiting a few months for actually, and finally it's arrived. My Toe Jam and L back in the groove, and it actually came with an instruction manual, and it also came with a little card. Hang on. A limited runs card. Now I'm not a big fan of limited runs. I don't like the fact that they limit their physical media. I know they're called limited runs, and that's the whole point of the company. But I just think that the fact that they limit it to such low numbers, it drives up the price, and you get these people buying them up and then selling them on eBay. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but the fact that they made it possible to buy this game in physical media, I will tip my hat to them for that. So I really am pleased with this. I've been playing it a little bit. I will do a stream or two, but really good to see ToeJam and Earl back finally in 2019. And another game that I've been waiting a little bit to get, this one is because I've just been a bit of a tight ass and not wanting to spend too much, but Everybody's Golf. Now I've got the Vita version, and this is everything the Vita version is except better, because it's got the better graphics. It's still got a quirky little sense of humor to it, which I find kind of odd, but really playable. And I posted up a few videos up on Twitter of getting my hole-in-one for the first time and a few chip-ins, and the response that I got on Twitter shows that this series has a lot of fans. All right, so this next one is a bit special. I did go to Japan with the goal in mind to try and come back with something of a holy grail or something of a major pickup. And with these next couple of items, I think I ticked that box. This one, yes, the Famicom Mini, or Family Computer Mini, and this one is the limited edition for the cartoon series. Now, it's in the shape of a manga book that you can buy in Japan on a weekly basis. To think that they sell these on a weekly basis, look how thick that is. That's about the size of a proper magazine that you can get there on a weekly basis. And it's featuring the cartoon series from this magazine, such as Dragon Ball, also Fist of the North Star, quite a few others. Now, I'm not going to pretend I know anything about this cartoon, this book, this magazine. I can't even remember the name of the series. Something Jump Go or something like that. Hang on a second. Okay, so it's called the Shonen Jump, and it's the 50th anniversary of Shonen Jump magazine, and I still haven't fired it up, but it's a golden little outfit, a golden little console, and the games on it are actually kind of rubbish. But that's not why I bought it. I bought it because I've already got the Famicom, and this is kind of just to complement the two. And it's kind of strange that this is the only mini Nintendo console that's been released that's not in the same shape as the other boxes. So you can kind of see what I mean here. This is, you're trying to get these all in the shot. These are the minis that I've got already at the moment, and the box shape is just different to all the rest of it. They tried to make it look like a little comic that's come out with that just happens to have a Famicom in it. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I just got a funny feeling that this is going to be worth a bit in the future. It's not as predominant. I did see it in 2 locations, but that was in Japan. I think outside of Japan, this is not going to be that common at all, because I think the range of games that came with it turned a lot of people off. So I don't know, maybe a collector's edition that's going to be worth a lot in the future. And my last pickup, which is one that I've been wanting to jump on for a little bit, but the fact that I saw it in the flesh in front of me made me do the jump and get it. And I just couldn't resist. It's the Neo Geo. This is the Neo Geo Mini. This is the Japanese edition, and I will do a video on this at some stage. So it comes with 40 games. If you don't like King of Fighters, and if you don't like what was the other one, Metal Slug, don't buy this, because the King of Fighters has, I think, 12 different games on this one little collection. Now, I will eventually pick up the Western model, because the Western model is actually being sold locally here in Australia through JB Hi-Fi. So that's something I will get on later. But I just had to get this because this is slightly different to the one that was made available here in Australia. I plan on buying the Australian edition or the international edition, and I want to modify it. I want to pimp it out a bit. So that's coming soon. I will try and see what I can do to get that to happen. But the Neo Geo Mini, plus I also picked up the controller. I don't know if you can see that. Very hard to see. There you go. Controller. I'll give a video on a review on this system later. I played it. It plays okay. It's not the best controller in the world, but it certainly makes it easier to play than just playing it on the arcade unit itself there. Guys, I really hope you liked my little pickups video there. There was quite a few things to get through. Leave a comment down below. Let me know which one of these pickups that made you go, oh my God, I really wish I had that. Also, leave a comment down below if you plan or intend on going to Japan, and what you are trying to hunt down if you go to Japan. What is it that you're going to Japan for, to try and see if you can bring back home as a trophy? Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I am wearing one of the Since Spacies shirts, the merchandise that I've got available now. The link is down below. You will be able to buy long sleeve shirts like this, short sleeve, and also the Since Spacies hoodies, which I've got to pick up one myself. But yeah, the link is down below, and anyone that buys any of those pieces of merchandise will be helping the channel out in a very small way. My name has been Brian, and I've been gaming since Spacies. Thanks, guys.
Since Spacies.